Hello again from OpenUC2. Today we want to show you the most advanced experiment you can do with the core box, which is the smartphone microscope. And for this you need all kinds of optical elements. So you need the mirrors, an eyepiece, eventually also a sample mount. And what's also important is the part that moves the lens micrometer precise, of course the objective lens itself, and then a light and the smartphone holder. And well, eventually also some more parts, but what's important is, well, let's first mount the objective lens. So you put that into the 3D printed threading. So sometimes it works just out of the box, sometimes it's a bit tricky. It doesn't matter so much. And then you need to put this into a cube. So you open this cube here, you close this, and then fix this whole thing with well, we can maybe also do that like this. First close the cube and then sneak that inside and then fix it with the cube puzzle pieces. So below this piece here, you need to have the folding mirror, which goes right here. And then yet another folding mirror. And you're almost done. So with this, you then add the eyepiece, and this is already a microscope. So what's happening here is you have one lens, in that case it's an objective lens. The beam is then going down here, it's being reflected here, and it forms an image somewhere here. So it has a tube length from about 150 millimeter. And this eyepiece here is then basically just re-imaging it to infinity or almost so that your accommodation of your eye is well, seeing that relaxedly. And then you can just take your phone and image that. In order to do that, we have to have some more components and also, of course, a part that holds our sample. In that case, we slide it in here and can mount it just like this here, take our sample, and then if you just take your eye and have a look here, you could already see something. Light is coming from above, but we take artificial light and then take this part that holds the light here. And then in order to mount the part here, we add this. And then eventually where is this part? Thanks. In order to make it a little bit more sturdy, we add one more puzzle piece here. I forgot. So like that, and then again like that. So, interestingly, the power button is just at the same position where, so. And if you see this kind of flickering, you just have to turn on and off the light some more times because it's a little bit too smart for the camera. So, and then, well, it's really bright, this torch here. So maybe we take some piece of paper as a diffuser, and then you can focus the sample. So the Z stage is for fine focusing, and then we see the ant lag right in focus. So you see the hair of the ant. And you can move the sample around, and then you can see what's going on there. You can zoom in and out. And that's how a microscope works. So you have the light, which right now is really strong because the fresh batteries. It's forming an intermediate image somewhere here, and then the eyepiece is reflecting that to almost infinity, and the phone is then just re-imaging that on their little sensor, and then you see the image on the screen here. Once more, a little more precise explanation why you see magnification of the image. So it's very simple or very similar to the telescope essentially. So the first lens here, the objective lens, has a rather small focal length, and it will form an image somewhere in that position here. And it comes out at a certain angle, and the second lens here acts as the second lens in a telescope, and essentially the ratio between the two lenses determine roughly the magnification. And then the third lens in the camera of our smartphone is basically just re-imaging what's coming from infinity to the sensor. And so the magnification roughly is determined by the ratio between the two focal lengths of the two lenses here. And so there are two different paradigms in microscopy. This here is a microscope with a finite corrected objective lens. So the situation is slightly different because this lens here will form a real or like an intermediate image somewhere here, where in infinity corrected microscopes, the sample is brought to infinity. So that means the rays between this plane and that plane are just, well, infinite. So that means parallel. And then the lens here will just form, again, an image similar to what we have seen with the lens. So light comes from infinity and then focus that on the screen, or in that case on the camera. And so the lens from the cell phone again will just, or also your eye, will image everything that comes from roughly infinity on the retina or the sensor, and that's why we see the image here. Here we have a 4x lens that can image something up to the resolution of, say, somewhere between 5 and 10 micrometer. And with better lenses, you get better images. And it's not only the magnification that matters in terms of resolution. What matters in the end is the so-called numerical aperture. So it's basically the way how much light and information you can collect through the finite aperture of the lens. So the wider or like the bigger diameter you have from the lens, the more information you can collect theoretically. And then also the higher the resolution can be that you can acquire with both your eye and also the camera sensor. And that's it. The first dive into optics and the theory how imaging works. And there's more to come very soon. Thanks a lot and bye-bye.